Well, the Hutt Valley Rose, Catriona Young.
Kia ora.
Okay, so you know the routine by now. You're nervous, aren't you? You've been waiting all evening for this, and
Yeah,
you're even more nervous than I am. Okay, to start, introductory question. I'm going to leave it over to you. Tell us about yourself. You're obviously not from New Zealand, so tell us about whereabouts in Ireland you're from, mum and dad, and things like that.
Yeah. I'm originally from Ireland. I moved over here 2.5 years ago. I'm from County Westmeath, which is right in the middle of Ireland, from a tiny little place called Castlederley. My mother is from Offaly and my father is from Westmeath. I work for Kiwi Rail. I've been working there for the last 2 years. I'm a 4th generation rail worker.
Now, that intrigued me. I used to work for the same company back in the back in the days when it was Transrail, and in fact before that, and then we got sold and it became private and it's a long history. Let's not go into that. But I never think of Ireland as having a rail industry and having families. One of the peculiarities, sorry, we're just going to talk rail for a minute. Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment. One of the peculiarities in New Zealand is that you come across lots of people. In the mid-80s in New Zealand, rail employed about 24,000 people. When I left in 2003, we employed about 3,500. So you were forever meeting people who said, I used to work on the rail.
Yeah.
Does that happen in Ireland? Is there a real rail community?
Well, it's just, it's in my family, on both sides, on my mother and my father's side. So my great-great-granddad, my granddad, my mother, my brother and sister did it, and then I had about 3 uncles as well. So we've just always worked. I just started off as a summer job, working up in Dublin, just doing some administration. And I came over to New Zealand, and I didn't really think I was going to end up working in the railways, but I started to run out of money. Actually, what happened? I was up in Tauranga, and I was up in Tauranga, and I was picking kiwi fruit, and it was just weren't getting any money, and it was really hard on the back and all that. So I called my mother and I said, look, can I borrow a few euro from you to move down to Wellington? And she said, yeah, fine, but this is it, I can't give you any more. And I said, okay. Moved down to Wellington, and I had enough money to put down on bond and rent for 2 weeks, so I had 2 weeks to get a job, otherwise I was on a plane home to Ireland. And I was applying for jobs left, right and centre. I didn't care what it was, I was going to do it. Oh, I won't tell you. But anyway, well, say mermaids came up on one stage. No, front desk, no. But anyways, so I prayed to my grandfather, because he was a very important man in my life, and he was the one that taught me all about the railways. So I said a prayer to him, and I said, Granddad, I need a job so badly. Woke up the next morning, got a phone call at 9:30 in the morning from a recruitment agency, and they said, Catriona, we have a job for you, but you have to start in the next 10 minutes. I said, fine, no problem. Who's it with? They said, Kiwi Rail. I was like, oh, but I'm familiar. So I'm still there today.
So it's all granddad.
It's all granddad, and of course that's all granddad can talk about as well,
Excellent. And so what sort of work does your family do in Ireland in the rail industry?
Well, my great-granddad and my granddad, they were gangers, so they were the guys that worked on the tracks, the same with my uncles. My mother was a project administrator, and now she is in the health and safety, which is actually where I'm moving into at the moment as well. I'm an EA to one of the GMs, but I'm slowly moving into being a safety analyst. So Kiwi Rail are amazing. The people I work with are just so great, and just one of the women, Robin, has taken me under her wing, and she's just taught me so much about the railways and everything that I'm a former, as you'd like to call it over here. or Anorak Brigade, as they call it back home.
Ah, the Anorak Brigade. Oh, right,
Brigade.
out on the tracks, all that
yes,
side.
yes.
Yeah, cool. And you're also partly to blame for. You're partly responsible for the Martini units getting onto the tracks and.
Well, oh yes, I did. I worked on the project to upgrade all the stations and platforms and overhead lines for the new trains to come in. Right. Yeah, I did all that.
Cool. I don't mind. Listen, I take the company car to work and back every day, and let me tell you, the Martini car is pretty damn good.
Chris Mazzy, all right?
Oh yes, they're lovely to ride in. Lovely to ride in. Shame they can't keep time, but anyway. Moving on. So you're from Westmeath. No,
Westmeath.
Westmeath, right. So how did you end up in New Zealand, picking kiwi fruit in Tauranga?
Yeah.
Why New Zealand?
Well, I'll tell you what, I moved away from home when I was 19. I moved to America. I never knew what I wanted to do. I went to uni for about 3 months and I knew it's not what I wanted to do. So I decided to go to America and work on some mountains over there. So I was a lift operator. And then I did that.
Work on mountains?
Yeah, like, you know, the snow mountains. Ski field, but it's not just a field, it's an actual like mountain. You know? No. So on the lifts, and I press the buttons that bring the people up and stop and all that.
There's the rail experience coming in.
So I did that. I was only meant to go for 6 months, and I did that. And then I found out when I was over there, I could extend my visa for another 6 months, but I'd have to go work a summer job. So then I did summer job, I worked as a waitress, and then I went to Colorado, and then I went to Cape Cod, and then I went to Colorado, then I came home, then I went to Australia, and did some mountain work over there as well. Anyways, long story short, I got home and I said, right, I'm going to get serious with my life, I'm going to go to university and, you know, get my degree and, you know, start a family and all that lovely stuff. And fell in love with an Irish boy, and he just finished, you know, his uni, and he's like, oh, I want to go travel. I said, all right, but 1 more year, may as well do it. And his neighbour from home lived in Auckland, and she had just come home, and she was telling us all about New Zealand, and it just sounded really cool because I'd have the mountains, and then I wanted to learn to surf, and you know, I just like to travel, so I said I'll give New Zealand a go. And I met a few Kiwis when I was in America as well.
Yeah, they're everywhere, aren't they?
They're everywhere, just like the Irish, they're everywhere as well. But I said, yeah, it was 1 more year, and I came up with him, and sad to say, he went home after 10 months. He was too homesick, he missed his mammy, and I...
And needless to say, you didn't miss his mammy.
I didn't at all.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's funny you should mention the mountains, because I noticed in your profile that you list Gaelic football as something of a passion, and snowboarding. Yeah. And I thought, snowboarding, you're from Ireland. They must do a lot of snowboarding in Ireland. But in fact, you learnt the art in...
While I was working. In Vermont, yeah, that's where I learned it first.
Yeah, certainly not in Australia or in Ireland.
No, but I did do it in Australia. I learned the teleskiing in Australia.
Teleskiing?
Yeah. Because, see, like, the mountains I worked in America, they were just so huge and so vast, so it was amazing. But then Australia was just like, you know, it's so small. And it would take you about 40 minutes to get up the mountain, and then 5 to get down. So it was just, it seemed like a waste of time. So I said I tried a new challenge, and I picked up teleskiing. It started to get real popular again.
What is teleskiing?
Teleskiing, it's like, you still have your alpine skis, but your heel isn't attached. So when you're going down the mountain, you're lunging like that kind of, so you're lunging to it. It's great fun. Oh, I injured my knee, I can't be doing that too much now.
And not on heels like that?
I'm not in heels as well, yeah. My physio see me now, she's killing me.
Alright, you also said in your profile that you'd like to meet Michael Collins. And I thought, oh, no, Irish girl, of course you would. And then I read on a bit, and it's not actually the Irish Michael Collins you'd like to meet, would you?
No, I changed that, but I'll tell you anyways. There's always a question people ask, you know, who would you like to meet? And I never know how to answer it properly. So I had a little think about it. And Michael Collins was an astronaut, and he was on the Apollo 11, wasn't it, I think?
One of them, yeah.
And now I can't even remember, I feel so embarrassed. But anyways, he went up with Buzz, and they landed on the moon. Buzz got off, had a little walk around, and the lad got off as well. But Michael, the poor lad, just had to like go around the moon for, you know, a few days while the other lads were having a crack. So I just kind of want to ask Michael, what was it like to go all the way to the moon? And he must have been the loneliest person in the world. Really, like, out there by himself. But that's only a bit, I don't know. You know,
but that's why you'd like to meet him?
Yeah, it'd be interesting, right?
So I guess I could summarise that as you'd like to meet the losers of the world.
Well, because they all have stories as well, right?
Fair enough. That's lovely. All that way and...
What did you do, like? Because you wouldn't have had iPads or like anything like back then, so what was he doing? What did you read or what did you do?
Yeah, it was on his own.
Yeah.
What did he do with
I
himself?
don't know.
Okay, shall we move on?
Please.
All right. Your final question, well, before the quick fire ones, the final question. Cast yourself forward 5 or 10 years from now. What do you see yourself doing?
Well, I want to stay in the rail industry, definitely. I'm hoping to maybe become a train controller, like the air traffic controllers, but for the trains. But I want to learn a lot more about the rail industry. There's just so much to learn. So I would like to be still in the rail industry and working, like, I'm always challenged in the job. I like to be challenged every day, otherwise you're just doing the same old, and you know, there's just no point in it. So, and then maybe meet a nice Kiwi boy, who knows? Settle down.
Here we go, goodness me. Alright, let's move on.